Hello, and welcome back to Read Aloud. Last time we read, Praiseworthy was saying that he had some kind of plan to catch the thief. And he's acting like it's Jack's idea, and Jack doesn't have any idea what he's talking about. And they are on their way. Well, they actually have gone up to talk to the captain. And they're saying that they have a clever way to catch the thief. And the captain says, all right, it's worth a try. And here we go. So we're in the middle of a chapter. When the sea turned black, the whale oil lamps were lit in the main saloon, and the passengers began to gather. They joked and joshed, glad for something to do, for they were not used to the idleness of life at sea. Jack waited on deck with the black sow from the animal pens. He saw the horse doctor enter, followed by the judge, smoking one of his homemade cigars. And the ex-soldiers were singing,
to Louisiana, my true love for to see. When it rained all night the day I left, the weather it was dry, and the sun so hot I froze to death. Susanna, don't you cry.
When all the passengers were assembled, the captain made a grand entrance, puffing on a twisted black cigar and with his long coat flapping almost to his knees. "Gentlemen," he said, "I'll get to the point. I am told there may be a thief among us, a cut purse. We can't have that now, can we?" "No!" roared out the gold seekers, giving their purses and money belts a reassuring touch. "Well, string 'em up," yelled a big fellow known as Mountain Jim. He had full red eyebrows and wore a bobcat cap. The captain held up a hand to stop the voices. "This cut purse has already struck, gentlemen." He lifted the savings of Mr. Praiseworthy and his young partner. "You've seen them working off their passage at the coal bunkers. The thief may strike again. Any one of you may be his next victim. He may be standing at your elbow. I'll now turn the meeting over to the aforementioned persons who have a plan to capture this scoundrel." Praiseworthy, tall and calm, stepped forward. "Thank you, Captain Swain," he said. "Our plan is very simple, gentlemen. Master Jack, the sow, if you please." And if you don't know what a sow is, it's a female pig. At that signal, Jack led the big black hog to the center of the saloon and tied her to a post. The men began to exchange confused glances. What had a large sow to do with catching a thief? But if there was a thief among them, they wanted him caught. Their own purses weren't safe with a light-fingered fellow aboard. "A pig is a smart animal," Praiseworthy explained. "None smarter," yelled out Mountain Jim. "Take this old sow," Praiseworthy went on. "She's very wise. We've discovered that she can tell a dishonest man by the mere feel of him. She squeals. Gentlemen, you can't even tell a simple lie in her presence. She'll squeal every time. A most remarkable hog, I must say." Jack looked about at the many faces shining under the flickering whale oil lamps. There were the horse doctor and the Mexico fighters and the judge with his sword cane. Not even Mountain Jim with his fur cap was above suspicion. Jack fed the black sow a limp carrot to keep her quiet, but he began to feel anxious. What if Praiseworthy was wrong and the thief wasn't aboard the Lady Wilma? "I assure you," Praiseworthy was saying, "that if the cut purse so much as touches this pig, she will squeal. If you will all line up, gentlemen, we'll get on with it. After the lamps are blown out and the saloon is dark, come on up to the pig one by one. In the dark, I want you to touch her with your right index finger. When she squeals, we'll know we have the thief." "I'm for it," one of the soldiers said. "Me too." "A good plan," said the judge. "Suits me," agreed the horse doctor, turning on his peg leg. "Some of you boys, turn down the lamps. Let's see how smart this hog is. If you're an honest man, you've got nothing to fear." A moment later, the saloon was in pitch blackness, and Jack held himself very still, feeding carrots to the animal so she wouldn't squeal. So I want you to be thinking about this plan of Praiseworthy's. They want it all dark. They've said that whoever is guilty, when they touch the pig, she's going to squeal. And Jack is now feeding her carrots so that she doesn't squeal. There's a lot of clues to think about. All right. One by one, the gold seekers approached and ran a finger along the pig's back. A minute passed. 2. Not a sound from the pig. The passengers scuffled across the deck in their boots, touched the pig, and left. The men were silent, listening for the squeal. Sorry, just lost my place. That would trap the guilty man. 10 minutes passed, and still they came. Even Praiseworthy felt a bit tense now. When finally the whale oil lamps were relit, the black pig hadn't uttered a sound. She stood in the center of the saloon, wondering what all the fuss was about. Captain Swain stepped forward, scratching his beard as he looked about at his passengers, and then turned to Praiseworthy. "Looks like you made a mistake. That cut purse isn't aboard the ship by grabs. I'm sorry about that, you and the lad there, but it looks like you'll be shoveling coal all the way around the Horn to California." "One moment," said Praiseworthy, as unconcerned as you please. "It's true, the pig didn't squeal, but the guilty person stands here. In this room, sirs, gentlemen, Master Jack, and I took the liberty of powdering this black sow with coal dust. If each of you will now examine your right index finger, where you have touched her hide, you will find a black smudge." Every man in the saloon instantly turned up his hand, and there indeed was the smudge of black dust. Because remember, in the darkness, they were supposed to go touch the pig, and if they were guilty, supposedly she was going to squeal. Praiseworthy didn't waste a minute. "But one of you, fearing that the pig's squeal would give you away, one of you approached the pig, but didn't lay a finger on her back. Look around you, gentlemen. If there is a man among you without coal dust on his finger, he has exposed himself as the thief." Almost at once, there was an outcry from the corner of the saloon. "We got him!" Passengers, suddenly angry, crowded around, and Jack couldn't see who it was they pounced upon. "Well, string him up! Look there, his finger's as clean as a whistle. It's the judge. Judge my eye, he's an imposter." Jack burrowed through the crowd in time to see the judge attempt to draw his sword cane. But the Mexico fighters jumped in and pinned his arms back. By the time the ship's officers got a hold of the frock-coated imposter, his hat was caved in and the cigar hung in shreds from his mouth. Now the crowd opened up, and Jack had never seen Praiseworthy with such a fierce look in his eye. "I suppose we'll find the balance of our money in your cabin, sir." "Try to find it," spat the thief, peering from Jack to Praiseworthy. "Clever you are, but we'll meet again, I warn you, or my name's not Cut-Eye Higgins." "Humbug," said Praiseworthy just as sharply. The miners had their own ideas of justice, and the suggestions went flying around the saloon. "Pitch him overboard and let him swim to California. String him up. Put him in irons." But Captain Swain already had his mind made up. "Take him to the coal bunkers. By the time we cross the equator by grabs, he'll think he's in Hades."